When Disneyland opened in 1955, Frontierland was very different. Much of it was a large, natural space made to resemble the wilds of the Old West, called Nature's Wonderland. This space had a few different iterations, the most popular featuring over 200 animatronic animals, a beautiful waterfall, a train ride, and mule rides. Though, even with all that, people wanted something more exciting. Plus, the live pack mules weren't exactly the most reliable ride system for a growing theme park. So, Disneyland began looking at a project Tony Baxter was developing for Disney World as a perfect pick to replace it: Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. In 1979, the wildest ride in the wilderness opened to guests and was a huge success. It wasn't originally planned to stand on its own, though. It didn't take up all the space left from Nature's Wonderland, so Tony Baxter envisioned a whole new land that could fill that space and transition from frontier to fantasy while continuing the story of Thunder Mountain. That land was to be called Discovery Bay. The story of the new land was that Jason Chandler, an original character, was one of the miners who struck gold on Thunder Mountain. He took his newfound riches to build a city dedicated to scientific discovery, and used his money to fund all sorts of crazy inventors and all the steampunk-style Victorian-era sci-fi doodads that they could imagine. The land had strong inspirations from Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, but also had plenty of original material mixed in, and there was even going to be a TV miniseries about Jason Chandler telling the story of the land. While it was never actually built, the project got pretty far into development, so we have a pretty realistic view of what guests would have found there. A shooting gallery inside a fireworks factory, a roller coaster themed to magnets, and a rapids ride through a Jurassic jungle, reusing the animatronics from the Primeval War diorama, were all planned. That's not all though. Professor Marvel's gallery would have been a carousel show, where an eccentric scientist and his pet dragon could demonstrate their wacky inventions. Professor Marvel's balloons would have been a Skyway-style transport ride built next to the show and connecting Discovery Bay to another never-built land themed to Dumbo's Circus. Obviously, something based on Disney's adaptation of Jules Verne's most famous novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, had to be added. There was definitely going to be a restaurant inside the Nautilus submarine, and perhaps a simulator ride as well. And finally, a suspended e-ticket dock ride themed to another Verne story, The Island on Top of the World, was planned as the anchor for the land. Disney's adaptation of The Island on Top of the World bombed at the box office, partly because America in general was grown less interested in steampunk and more interested in space heroes for their sci-fi with the rise of Star Wars. And so, the whole project was scrapped. There's a saying in Imagineering, though, that no idea ever really dies, and Discovery Bay is a perfect example of this since nearly every aspect of the land's plans went on to inspire something else. Most notably in Disneyland Paris, where their version of Tomorrowland has a steampunk theme and is called Discoveryland. It was even designed by Tony Baxter and shares a lot of similarities with Discovery Bay. The fireworks factory theme was used for a nightclub in downtown Disney, and the ride system grew into the one used for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. Professor Marvel and his dragon were the main inspirations for arguably the two most iconic original characters in theme park history, Dreamfinder and Figment. And Jason Chandler's story was one of the earliest inspirations for the Society of Explorers and Adventurers mythology that Disney has created over the years, something I plan to talk about in a future video. So while it was never actually built, in a way, Discovery Bay still lives on.